Beautiful. And this is another question I want to ask you. You know, you shared a very powerful story with me about what ultimately inspired you to get into the ranks, and which involved a childhood friend of yours, Brother Carl, who was on his deathbed, who appears in this picture that's going to come up. He's talking to children, and he's also on this other picture. He's seated to the far right, if you're looking at it straight up. So, can you share with us this experience and what happened?
Yeah, well, Brother Carl is from St. Kitts, the island of the birth of the mother of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I was born in Dominica, the West Indies, an island between Martinique and Guadeloupe. We both migrated to St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, around the same time. And so we met as friends. I lived at Vesta Garden number 12. He lived at Vesta Garden number 14. We were two houses apart, and we were blessed to grow up and walk to school together. We played together. We, wrestled together. We partied together. I mean, we were very, and still is to this day, very close friends. And while I was living in Fort Lauderdale, he had an explosion because he's an electrician by trade that burnt, his face and a lot of his body, and they had to fly him to Puerto Rico for life-saving measures, and then he was sent to rehab in Miami for his life-saving measures. And so I visited him on his deathbed because when you get burned, I'm a nurse by profession. When you get burned, the first few 48 hours, 72 hours is when certain things happen physiologically in the body that a lot of people lose their lives during those first 3 days after experiencing severe burns. But I asked him on his deathbed, anything you need? And I thought he was going to say, well, I need some bean soup or some money or, something, of carnal is what I was thinking. But he said, I would like for you to visit the mosque. That would be my wish. And so that's how I ended up visiting the mosque. It's from the wish of Brother Carl on his deathbed. As a friend, he invited me to the mosque.
And that's one of in my years of Islam, that's one of the most amazing stories that I've heard. And it really shows where his heart was. And he was really about the mission of bringing the dead to the Lamb of God.